So the book is about individual action and community action. And what you heard there from Anita and from Eric before was all about community action. So it's not just sort of talking about it, but it's like, you know, groups that are actually doing things on the ground. So the book has both. It has people making cleaning products at home and sewing things and you know, sort of doing the small practical things that we've touched upon, and we'll probably say a little bit more about that. And then the coming together, the groups coming together and taking practical action. And I love it that the book has these two very distinct parts. And I love it that we in Stroud and in our community, those parts are represented big time, you know, with Stop Ecocide, with Earth Protectors, with Transition Stroud, you know, with XR even, and other things. So very inspirational. On this slide, it's just to tell you a little bit about the content of the book. So all the contributors and all the people that wrote for the book gave their time freely and shared their knowledge and their tips and their specialisms. And all the proceeds from the book, Hawthorne Press is giving to our community group, Action on Plastic, so that we can keep working and giving workshops and inspiring people and give demonstrations and talks and things like that. Action on Plastic is run by the Stroud District Action on Plastic. That's the smaller group that started and is now blossoming into Gloucestershire. And as I said, as I mentioned, we've got that accreditation of being a plastic-free community, and it'll be an ongoing work. Every year you have to work towards the accreditation again. The book is full of tips and instructions and patterns and how to make things and where to go to repair. So it's almost a little bit of a how-to book, but you know, and there are things in the book that I haven't done yet. So I've started, for instance, I've started knitting a washcloth, and that's the instructions for that are in the book by Kat. So it's a very practical book, and I think the other contributors will tell, you know, say more about that. And then Katie, I don't know if you want to say about where to buy it and how to use that introductory discount.
Yeah, there's you'll see on the screen SSLW, small steps to less waste, of course, is the code on the Hawthorne website, and that's going to be live until the end of April, I believe. So that only works on the Hawthorne Press website. Obviously, the book will be available in lots of good bookshops, especially if you support your local bookshop. That's also a good thing, or bookshop.org. The cupboard is full of all these sort of half-used old plastic bottles, and I don't know what's in them. I don't know what chemicals are there. So I'm delighted that somebody's doing something about it.
Thank you, Kathy. And it's kind of, I guess it was old knowledge as well, because if we look back, our grandparents used to whip up these sort of recipes and used it at home. And then something went so wrong. And as you said, nowadays, it's kind of, even if you look at the home environment, an average household contains more than 60 different toxins. And it's kind of crazy to think about it. And when we think about plastic, and I remember Claudi's presentation when she came to Wootton to present, and also I know that Chloe shared a really good article about the microplastics, and microplastics are now in our bodies as well. And even an unborn child, you know, has got microplastic in their bodies. It's absolutely crazy. So I think there is this whole toxic burden that can actually build up as well. And then it's just so much we can actually do at home to make sure that we reduce that our environment, and then, you know, just kind of be more healthy. All those aerosol sprays people using, they think they're freshening up their home. They're actually putting toxic around, you know, paraffin candles. You burn it, you get the toxins out. So it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, in a book, I've got a few kind of starter recipes. I think it's really good to kind of, we have got the power to change this around. And whip up these kind of really easy cleaning natural products that, you know, support our and our families' health, because you use essential oils. It's great. It doesn't have any burden to the environment. It smells nice. It's simple. It's cost effective. And many of those recipes are kind of multi-purpose cleaners as well. So you don't need an arsenal on the sink as well. So
No.
really easy to make.
And you did. You were so inspiring to me. And there's 2 of your recipes that I use for cleaning in the house, and I use nothing else. I use your citrus spray, and I use the grout cleaner, which is actually just a cream cleaner. And it is funny because when we did our year off plastic and we couldn't buy any sprays or bottles or things, it wasn't allowed. It wasn't part of the rules. So we went back to really kind of almost just a few raw ingredients, you know, like the lemon skins from when we had squeezed out lemons. And then we found a bit of bicarbonate of soda in a cardboard box and things like that. And it became, or just soap and a brush, it became very, very basic. But then when I came to one of your workshops, or you gave one for us, and you introduced us to these 2, they're very easy to make, they're very quick to make, and they don't cost much. And you have the ingredients in the cupboard, like you say, you use them also for other things. And then you almost literally whip up a portion, and then you're done for 2 or 3 weeks, you know, and then you just use them. And those 2 are just amazing. They are so efficient and they work so well. It's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And they smell beautiful, and they don't have a toxic load, and there's no packaging.
Now, this brings me, so you 2 ladies have been doing this for some time, and I'm pretty new on this journey. I've only been doing it for a year or so. What would you recommend to somebody who's just interested in cutting out plastic around the house? I mean, what would be the first thing they should do, apart from buying the book, obviously? So Judith, do you have an idea? What would be the first thing you'd recommend?
I think everyday items that's kind of really easy to replace. If someone doesn't have a refillable bottle, of course we got refill station now in Stroud as well. Make sure you have got a metal bottle you carry around everywhere. I wholeheartedly, I love soap, natural soap. I am actually making my soaps as well. So instead of, you know, buying shower gels, have a shampoo bar, have a soap. I make lotion bars as well. Those are just so easy to make. If you get a large container of Castile soap, now those are great because again, this 100% natural, kind of derived from plant sources, and you can use it for dishwashing as well as, you know, liquid soap for the family in a bathroom that can be made with essential oils. You can make it into shampoo. So there are just kind of really great sources around. It's so easy to kind of make sure. And then when you go out as a family, I think it's a lot of times is about making time to prep. So before you leave the house, you have got those items with you, so you don't have to run into the supermarket. Like if I go to work, I don't get a prepackaged food to eat because I take it with me.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if you're talking about cleaning, I think an easy way to start is just to get rid of the things that are very obviously plastic, like for instance the yellow sponges with the green scrubber at the top. That is really a scourge for the environment because it's entirely made of plastic. You're rubbing it apart all the time, so the little plastic bits always come off, and then you throw it into landfill. And they are really excellent alternatives. So all of your cloths and your brushes and your scrubbers, you know, just swap them for something natural. And I think that is an easy start because you're not asking someone to make anything, you're just asking them to buy something different elsewhere, and that is fairly easy to find out where to buy those and find them out. And then also for me, it's everybody's situation is different, so there isn't really one solution that fits all. So for example, I quite like making my own cleaning liquids, but someone else might not want to do that. But then there are other solutions that are very easy. So for example, nowadays you can get these little sachets, and they're soluble little sachets with cleaning liquid inside. You can buy them in cardboard, and you can even have them on a subscription service, so they come to you regularly. And all you do is you drop that soluble sachet into your spray bottle. Your spray bottle you keep forever, or as long as it lasts, but you just keep refilling it, and then you fill it up with liquid. You know, you just follow the instructions, and hey presto, there is your spray. So some people want to go all the way on this side. They want to use as little as possible and make it themselves. And some other people just want to find a sustainable thing that they can buy. And I think, and everything in between. So it's just about finding out what would suit you and your circumstances and what you prefer.
Yeah, I think that's really important, that we don't put anybody off because they're not prepared to go the full distance. I mean, one of the difficulties is that Carly highlighted in the book is about looking after a baby, which is pretty full on, as anyone who's done it can tell you. And you might want to have washable nappies, but it's not always possible all the time. If you're working and you're busy, you've got more than one child.
Circumstances are different for everyone, and there should be no guilt in, you know, in any of this. It should all be about small steps to less waste, right? So it's just take action where you feel inspired to take action.
Also aware that we're talking a lot about our town. So this is a book about Stroud, but it's a book that it's a project that could be replicated anywhere. It doesn't have to be here. We have a market and we have a loose shop, and as do loads of towns. So I can see people that I know who are in London and in Shrewsbury and in other towns. So tell us what's going on in your town, and and in Colchester as well.
A good example are repair cafes, I think, because repair cafes are all over the world. I think they originally started in Australia, and we have hundreds and hundreds of repair cafes in the UK. And we have a chapter about the Stroud and Nailsworth repair cafes in the book. And Paul Hoffman, it's a shame he's not here. It would have been lovely to hear from him. But they're amazing places. They're kind of places where anyone can bring something that needs repairing, whether it's electrical or mechanical or an instrument or whatever it might be. And you go along and you have lots of experts there who show you how to repair the item that needs repairing. So you learn at the same time as meeting with lots of other people. There's some repair cafes, I don't know if you can see. And then you can also have a cup of tea and a cake while you're doing it. And again, this is so inspirational. Paul, we went along to Paul's repair cafe not long ago because we had a broken electrical coffee grinder, which we have had for a long, long time and used it every day, and it stopped working. And we took it along, and I sat for half an hour with a very knowledgeable chap who normally, I don't know, he plays electrical guitar. He's a musician, but he knows about electrics. And we repaired it. We repaired this little electrical coffee grinder, which would have just been in landfill otherwise. And these repair cafes are all over the UK. So I would really encourage you to go to them. They're fantastic places, good fun as well.
So do you think that in the pandemic, we've all been at home and repairing things has become a bit more of a necessity because you couldn't go out and get new things? So do you think things have got better or worse, Claudi?
I don't know. I can't decide, because on one hand, you say that, and you're right, and people are making sourdough bread and things like that up and down the country. But on the other hand, people are just buying so much online now, aren't they? And buying things online is really, you cannot avoid plastic, in my opinion. It is almost impossible. And I mean, I feel like I just got away from online shopping, and then I sort of came slightly back into it during the pandemic. And I was horrified that really in the 5 years that nothing has changed since I stopped buying things online. If anything, it's got worse. You know, everything is now available, and it comes double and triple packed and in plastic bags, and you really have no idea how to recycle all of that stuff and what to do with it and how to reuse.
Yeah, It's well, it has got better, hasn't it? A little bit, because we've managed to find a local place where we can buy our pasta in a big paper sack instead of getting all those little plastic bags, that crinkly film that you can't recycle anyway. So there are a few things, and I think there are a few bad things, like all the discarded plastic masks that you see in the street, and everyone going back to disposable cups again, which is awful. Now, I was going to ask Susie if there have been any questions in the chat. Hi, Susie.
Oops. Hi, everyone. Hello. Well, leading on, we asked people to share their favourite hacks, and Nell Cameron came up with a fantastic idea, to me at least, because I didn't know about it, that as well as sourcing companies, dairies, where you can buy your milk in refillable bottles, you can also buy wine in wine refills, which is fantastic. So I'll be looking up Claudi, I think you said Stroud Wine Company on the high street there, and as Katie said earlier, there must be examples in other towns as well. But leading on from that, actually our own Martin Large has asked, how can small steps lead to more systemic or larger scale change? How can we help through our own sort of small scale and local actions? How can we help encourage larger scale actions?
Well, I think for me, that is exactly what it is about in the book. It's individual action becomes collective action, and it forces the hand of producers and retailers in the supermarkets. So if, our power lies in being able to refuse something as much as it does in what we choose to buy. So there's that whole thing about, your purchase is a vote. Well, you not purchasing something is also a vote, and it gives a clear message. And the more people don't buy things in plastic but choose something else, the more that will become the norm, because that will become, that'll become the profitable thing more than the other thing. We still have a long way to go, but I think that is why it is so important to spread the word and spread the message that this kind of individual action will become a systemic change. And I think there are many examples. I don't want to draw this session out, but I think it is a truth that it goes that way, from individual action to collective action to systemic change.